Yeah, good. All right. About ready? Okay. All right. All right. Well, welcome everybody. It's good to see everybody in this midweek study. I want to welcome everybody dialing in on the internet there. Join us over the internet. Good to see all y'all's faces here. We're going to, like I said, we're going to jump into 1 John 3, and we'll start in 18. I'm going to read. I'm going to jump back up to 17, read down through 24, and then we'll start there in 18. It says, verse 17 says, "But whoever has the world's good and beholds his brother in need and closes his heart against him, how does the love of God abide in him? Little children, let us not love with word or with tongue, but in deed and truth. We shall know this, that we are of the truth, and shall assure our heart before him. And whatever our heart condemns us, for God is greater than our heart and knows all things. Beloved, if our heart does not condemn us, we have confidence before God. And whatever we ask, we receive from him, because we keep his commandments and do the things that are pleasing in his sight. And this is his commandment, that we believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another, just as he commanded us. And the one who keeps his commandments abides in him, and he in him. And we know by this that he abides in us by the Spirit whom he has given us." We kind of delve into this a little bit. We've talked about our relationship with God and our relationship with Christ and him redeeming us, and how that relationship and how we grow that relationship, and how we that affects our daily lives. It affects our behavior and how we act in the world. So we've covered that. It says, "Little children, let us not love in word or with tongue, but in deed and in truth." And I thought about that a lot this week, but let's see, what was your Tuesday? I actually seen this happen. Practicing this in actual deed. There was a sister in Christ whose brother passed away, and they were not affiliated with any church. The sister in Christ, I guess, asked the elders, and they approved the service to be held there. So I thought about, we think about our service to each other. She's seen that her family was in need, and she provided a need for that family. But the bigger picture it's to see the congregation of that sister in Christ rally around her and help her with this event that happened in her life as well. So standing back and watching this, and it was a Lord's church there in the Metroplex, and standing back and watching it, I don't know how many times I've seen y'all do this to help one another, but when you're outside and you look into and see how that congregation works together and provides for their own, and the love that they shown her and that other family, that was something to see. That was something to witness. And I've seen that here 1,000 times, and y'all don't think anything about it at all. It's just, you just do it. You don't think about it. But when you see it, when you step back and you see another congregation do it, like, that's what we're commanded to do, and we do it. And I just thought that was interesting, just to have that just sit there and be, bold-faced right in front of me, and it's happened to be what we're studying. The love that we have for one another, and we're commanded to have for one another, is, and they actually showed it. And they took, they had the preacher of that congregation was there. They had the sound guy there. They had, I don't know how many women was there bringing food in and things like that for the family. But just to stand there and see that and witness that, and that was really encouraging to me because of the love that congregation showed their sister in that. And that, like I said, that's something I'm familiar with. I see y'all do it all the time. But I didn't appreciate it till Tuesday because I got to see it in action that I've seen y'all do it 1,000 times. And it never really dawned on me, the love that we have for one another here. That's something to think about. Something, you should be thankful to God for, that we have each other for that. And then we demonstrate it there, but don't take it for granted because, like I said, I've seen y'all do it, I don't know how many times. And then just to see that happen Tuesday, I was thinking, I'm so thankful for the congregation that I get to attend. And that's exactly what John's talking about here in this chapter and in this letter. Doing it with deed and with truth. All those people that were there and the people that I was with are not members of the Lord's church. And to see that, them recognize that, was something for that congregation. Because I've always said, you never know who's watching you. You have no idea who's watching you. As we walk through this life, and we're doing what we're commanded to do, is to love one another above all. It amazes me, the love that we have for one another. And thanks be to God that we do. I've been thinking about this ever since yesterday. Because the love that we have for one another is something we should never, ever, ever take for granted. God first and Christ, but the love that He's commanded us to do for one another, that's serious business. And y'all do it very, very well here. Very well. Did you want to say something, Carl?
Yeah, the only thing I would say in clarification is, you're standing there talking, it's none of y'all. You and your sweet wife have been involved in all of this good work that you're talking about as much as any of us sitting in this room. And so I think drop the y'all.
Well, this congregation. Let's say this congregation.
We. Yes.
We'll survive.
That's the only thing I would add to that. Then I would just add John 13:34-35. John talking about how we are to love one another. Then he says, and by this, all men will know that you are my disciples. And I've spoken on this before. And I think it's interesting that he doesn't say by your doctrine.
Yep.
He doesn't say by your, now, let me go back. I'm not diminishing doctrine. I'm not diminishing anything I'm about to say. The point that Jesus makes is most people aren't going to be concerned about your doctrine or aren't going to be concerned about your worship or any aspect of your Christian life if you don't demonstrate what first. That you love.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I say this, then this is the point that Jesus highlights. By this, all men will know that you are my disciples if you have love one for another.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing